Hi, this is Janis from Noisebud, and I'm back with a new plugin, and it's called Jazz. It looks like this. It's a low-end expander compressor thing, and I will go through the different sections of the plugin real quick, and I'm gonna change to the main screen right now, because otherwise you can't see my mouse, and I don't know why that is, but it's just the way it is. Um, First, you have a gate section. And this is a gate that decides if the plugin will be active or not. So it's not a gate that affects the sound. It will just decide what if it should be active or not. And it's sidechain control, so it's sidechain to the low end, so it doesn't care about the upper frequencies. So that means you can make the plugin active when the kick hits or when the bass starts to play or when the music gets more intense, for example. And that's the whole point with this plugin. It's supposed to be used where you have to enhance the low end. Say you have a rock track where the kick doesn't come through, then you can put this on and make the low end pop up a little bit every time the kick hits. So you control that with the gate. So it's a threshold thing, and you set that with this little controller, and you have you see you have a little meter down here will start to move, and when the meter goes above this threshold, the plugin will be active, and when it's below, it will be off. And then you have an attack and release, so you can make it really fast that the plugins reacts immediately and gets active in 1 millisecond, or you can set it up to get a more slow thing if you want to sculpt the fade out of the kick, for example. And then you have in the middle a huge amount knob. This is just a dry and wet control. So when it's in off position, the plugin won't do anything, whatever settings you have. And then there's a shelf control, and this control it goes from 20 hertz up to 200 hertz, but it only affects the detection parts of the plugin. So in a lot of music you won't hear any difference, but experiment with it. It can make a huge difference, and it can be no difference at all. So don't expect it to do too much with the audio. Then you have a compressor, and this compresses as with everything in this plugin. It's just a low end. No, it's not completely true. I get to that later. But it's a compressor that will compress the low end, and it's a attack and release. The threshold is set automatically depending on the source material, and also the ratio is controlled automatically. So you don't have to set those. And post this compressor, there's a makeup gain algorithm, which means that the compressor won't always react as you would think. So if you set a really fast attack, for example, the low end may just get higher in level or lower depending on the source material again. I think you will get the idea with this. It's not really correct to call it a compressor. It's more a sculpting thing. So you sculpt how you want the low end to be. So it means that you can use this plugin if you have a track where the kick sounds really good, but you want to emphasize the fade out of the kick a little bit more than the attack, or the other way around. Then you can use this and sculpt this. Then we have a little output section and with some more controls. And first we have the MB, which stands for multiband. And this will activate a crossover where it will pass the high end from the input to the output, not affected by the plugin at all, and will just work with the low end. It's I find myself using this mode the most, like 80% of all situations. That is probably what you want, because you don't want the pumping and stuff that comes from compression or low end compression. you want the high end to just stay as it is. But if you're after that pumping effect, then you can deactivate this and the plugin will react uh, on the whole spectrum. Then we have a limiter, and this limiter is so cool that I'm thinking of making it a plugin of its own. It's a pretty standard limiter, but since I often boost signals a lot when using YAS for some reason, because I think it sounds cool, it will make a lot of distortion and modulation distortion and all kinds of distortion. So to make that a bit milder, I made an algorithm that tried to remove everything that was unpleasant from that limitation and keep the things like harmonics and stuff that sounded good. And it sounds really cool. So yeah, that's cool. We will listen to it so you can hear a little bit how it sounds later. Um, it You can say that the plugin sounds more natural. The loan will be more natural if you don't use the limiter, and with the limiter, it's more of a sculpting tool. So you can move up the low end up to the upper harmonics, and by that start to hear low end a little bit, or perceive it as louder than it is. So it's cool. Then you have the delta button. It's just a normal delta like in my other plugins. So that you hear what the plugin does. We will use that later. And a bypass. And that's pretty much it. And I have had some fun and created a techno track that, in the way that I used to make music like in the mid 90s. So it's just a 303 kind of sound and a 707 drum machine. And it's quite crappy. And then it's this mastering chains, which is first a gain control that doesn't do much, and perfect just because wanted the level to stay at the same level. Then I use limitless, not as a limiter, but as a sculpting tool. So I distort a lot with it, and I compress a lot. Use most of the dynamics instead of the limiter, and I have set it to 50% wet. So uh, using it in parallel. So it's not limiting really. Then I have an instance of Chocodar with some mild EQ, Yas to sculpt the low end, and then I have Fire the Clip to just cut everything off, and the rest is just a gain control so that it doesn't overdrive OBS, which catching this movie right now, and it's RIA stream that streams to another computer in here. That's just there. We can remove that really. No, that'd be there. And the controller for perfect. So it's pretty much it's just these four plugins: Limitless, Chocodar, Yas, and Fire the Clip. That's kind of mastering this kind of acid track. And now I'm gonna put in my crappy in-ears because they have too much low end, so I can hear easy what I do. Okay, I will start to raise the dry wet control. So this is the delta, and here you can hear the limiter. If I remove the limiter, it sounds like this, and activate it. So you can understand why it's more of a sculpting tool for the low end. Let's play around a little bit with the settings. I just want the kick right now. So something like that. Maybe that's cool. Let's listen how that sounds. Can I bypass? Activate it. And this is what the plugin is adding right now. Let's make it a bit slower. See how that sounds. It's pretty interesting that sometimes when you turn it on, you don't really realize that it's there. But then when you remove it, then it's just like, what happened? All the warmth, everything just disappear. So it's really cool. It's doing a lot, but in the same time, it doesn't do that much. It's really cool. I hope you will like this one. I will continue to develop this and add functions to it to make it, yeah, have more possibilities to shape the sound in different ways. And I hope you like it. It's available on Patreon right now. So if you're a patron, then go to the Patreon site and download it. And I see you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.